If you own your company's go-to-market strategy, you've probably got a lot of spinning plates right now. In the run-up to launch, there's a ton of tasks belonging to multiple teams, and it's on you to make sure they're all completed. With so much to keep track of, it can be easy to feel overwhelmed. That's why we've created the ultimate product launch checklist to help you navigate your route from the starting line to launch day. There are 7 key things you need for your launch to go off without a hitch. 1. Internal alignment. 2. Customer research. 3. Positioning and messaging. 4. Marketing and content. 5. Sales enablement. 6. Launch day. 7. Post-launch plan. Let's take a closer look at each of these essential elements. The launch process involves most teams in your company in one way or another. Your key stakeholders include product marketing, sales, customer success, marketing, sales enablement, product, and engineering teams. None of the steps you take from this point on will reach their full potential if these teams aren't aligned. So, how do you build this all-important alignment? Here are a few tips to get you started. Tip 1, bring them in early. Engage all relevant teams from the beginning of the product launch process. This early involvement will foster consensus, collaboration, and excitement, ensuring that each team understands the project goals and their role in achieving them. Tip number 2, create tiger teams. Tiger teams that include representatives of all the teams involved in your launch. They're going to help you align goals, allocate responsibilities, and ensure the project satisfies both internal and external expectations. Tip number 3, define roles and expectations. A RACI matrix is your secret weapon here. RACI stands for responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. By mapping out who's responsible for what tasks, who is accountable for decisions, who needs to be consulted, and who should be kept informed, you create a clear, organized structure. This keeps everyone in the loop and ensures no tasks fall through the cracks. Tip number 4, ensure clear communication. Without clear communication, things can get pretty tangled. So don't be afraid to spell out updates and requests to your teams. It's better to overdo it than risk leaving people in the dark. Tip number 5, meet regularly. It's essential to schedule regular meetings, ideally at least fortnightly, with your Tiger team. This is going to help you check progress towards deadlines and keep your launch on track. Tip number 6, use project management software. Tools like Asana or Jira are your GPS for navigating the launch. They help everyone see the big picture and stay on track. Now we've seen how to build internal alignment, let's move on to the next item in our product launch checklist, customer research. Defining your ideal customer profile, ICP, and your total addressable market, or TAM, is one of the most important steps on your product launch checklist. If you don't know your customers, your launch will fall flat. You need to know who they are, where they live, not in a creepy way, and what their problems are. The better you know your customers, the easier it will be to bring out products that resolve their pain points. There are plenty of customers and market research tools out there, such as Typeform or SurveyMonkey, which you can use to make your life easier. You can also pick the brains of your customer-facing teams. Basically, you want to gather as much intel as you can to build an understanding of your customers and improve your chances of successfully selling to them. Once you've got your customer research down, it's time to put that knowledge to good use. Your positioning will guide your messaging, so let's start there. Your positioning strategy exists to improve the image and visibility of your brand or product. It's about finding the best way to position your product in the market. What do you want your customers to think of when they first think of your product? What do you want them to associate it with? A positioning statement will convey the values of your brand and the purpose behind your product, and is one of the most important tools to differentiate yourself from competing products. You can position your product based on price, customer needs, product quality, product uses, or in opposition to your competitors. For positioning to be most effective, it needs to be consistent. So once you have your positioning statement, it should be rolled out to your other teams, especially the ones who interact with customers. Once you've nailed your positioning, you can move on to messaging. Messaging is your chance to let customers know how your product will solve their problems. Here are some of the channels you might want to include in your messaging strategy: social media posts, advertising and marketing campaigns, podcasts and webinars, and in-app notifications or website pop-ups. You've developed a positioning and messaging strategy, but how do you share it with your customer? The answer is content. Content is so important for raising awareness around your launch, bringing leads in, and getting customers excited to buy your product. Social media, blog posts, video content, anything you can think of, the more creative, the better. But make sure that the content you're sharing is consistent with the strategy you've worked so hard on. It's also important to make sure that you can measure your content's performance. You want to know if it's engaging people and resonating. If your content isn't working, there could be a problem with your product or your positioning. It's a good idea to backtrack and use A/B testing to pinpoint the issue. As we said from the start, alignment is the foundation of your product launch. Your sales team can't sell your product if they aren't up to date on what it does, the problem it solves, and how it's positioned. This is where sales enablement comes in. Sales enablement teams train your sales reps on your products, get them ready to sell, and give them the assets they need to convert leads into sales. You might not have the budget for a huge launch event. Nonetheless, it's worth marking the moment your product goes live. Aside from your product becoming available, a launch usually means landing pages going live, website copy being updated, and email announcements going out to your subscribers. Why not share the news on your target customers' favorite social media platforms too? Beyond that, for a flagship product, you can invest in an event, virtual or in person, to showcase your product, engage your prospects, and raise even more awareness. As nice as it would be, a launch doesn't actually end when your product goes live. You'll want to plan for several months worth of marketing and content to keep your product at the top of your customer's mind. The bigger the launch, the longer you'll want to keep this going. Your post-launch strategy should also involve your sales and customer success teams. Even if your product sells well initially, you have to keep momentum going if you want sales to continue and for customers to stick around. Aligning sales and CS so you can ensure seamless journeys for your customers and keep moving them down the sales funnel. You don't want customers to stop interacting with your product after they buy. You want them to get maximum possible value out of it. That way, they'll not only stay loyal to your brand, but they'll also be more open to upsells and more likely to recommend you to their friends and colleagues. That's the key to launch success that lasts. And that wraps up our product launch checklist. Don't forget to check out our other videos for more in-depth strategies and expert advice on successful go-to-market strategies. Thanks for watching and good luck with your launch.